GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Chelsea scores! Up in the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! LA face with an Oakland booty. Scores! Make me a bicycle cop. They score! Bowmeister! Pay that man his money!
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek with GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and I am joined with the regular cast and crew. Before we get started on the show tonight, some of you may have read that my silent business partner, Sergeant Matthew Ryan Hansen, was murdered on Thursday morning, and I just want to give some people an insight as to why that's important and what that means. When I first started collecting, Matt was kind of curious as to what I was doing because he always, interested in things, and he never really was into sports or anything like that. And I took him to his first hockey game at the Toledo Walleye, and we talked about things. And one of the things that came up was some of the, resources and outlets that we use. And he's like, "You guys don't have like a centralized place to do this, or like, I got banned from, .net forums for trying to gather information on distributors." And I told him about that. He's like, "Dude, you need freedom of information, all this stuff." And he was telling me all these things that we could do, and I was like, "Dude, it's expensive to start something up like that." He's like, "I believe in you, man. I think you could make something great for your hobby and the passion that you have." And he pretty much got everything set up for it. He filed a bunch of paperwork, started up an LLC to protect the website, invested a significant amount of money towards development and hosting, and he wasn't in the hobby like we are, but he believed that we could do something great with this and kind of revolutionize it, and that's what I'm going to try and continue his plans. We never quite got to the point where he thought we could get, and I am going to be taking it to heart to try and continue that forward. So I appreciate you listening to me, and I fucking miss him so much. Somebody else talk for a minute, please.
Yeah, man. We're here for you, man. I mean, I think the biggest thing about this is it's a great community. It's a great group of guys, and certainly I think we're all excited to kind of see it come to fruition, see how you're able to build it out, and I think we're all excited to help and pitch in and be a part of that. So,
and just look at all the people you've dealt with that reached out to just to touch base with you, make sure you were doing okay, and just let you know that they were thinking about you. I mean, that's huge. The amount of contacts you've made in the hobby, and I know pretty much everybody I've seen's reached out to you.
Yeah, man, I think I can't say more. That's what makes, that's part of what we said before about the friendships that we made in this hobby, where you can become a close-knit group. Probably hard. It's probably some of us probably hard to crack that group. We keep it close. So when Derek hurts, we all hurt. Because no one likes to lose somebody that's close to you. Even though we all have experienced it, no one likes to happen.
yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm back. I'm composed now. It comes and goes.
Yeah, we all,
All right, so we're talking about equipment sales. So
Well, and I'm sorry. One more quick side note is it's not just about jerseys. It's the friendship. I mean, the jerseys really are secondary to us being friends. I mean, a bunch of us talk all the time, have never met in person, but
Right.
we become friends because of all this. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So it's a good segue from the last show that we had.
yeah, it definitely is. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for that. It's been pretty difficult. But let's talk about something that'll take my mind off of it for the next hour. That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the equipment sales. So earlier, not that long ago, I don't know if we put it out there. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Without everything going on, but the Griffin sale. Did we talk about that at all? If not, I can recap.
No, I don't believe so.
Did the Griffins have one?
Yeah, I went to that one. It was the last game of the regular season.
Yeah.
They have the sale at where they play, and this year was a little bit different. Usually they use this smaller conference room. This year it was up on the concourse, which was a little bit different and kind of nice. But they let the season ticket holders in 15 minutes before everyone else, and it's kind of like a free-for-all. And they had some really good deals on gloves. They were like ranging in price. I think the average was like $60 or something like that. Goalie pads. I picked up another pair of pads for myself, and jerseys. Now they didn't have a lot of skates like they did the previous year, and I didn't necessarily even agree with the way they did jerseys, because they kind of did it without putting all of them out at one time. They would replace, they had a table and they would put it out on the table, and as people took them, they would put more out.
Right.
And I was just like, you gotta make everything available. And I missed out on a couple of the ones that I really, really wanted, not knowing that they would be there. But they would also recycle, or I shouldn't say recycle, but refresh the table during intermissions. So
there's no benefit whatsoever to getting there early. You don't necessarily know if that's going to get you what you want or not.
Only for equipment, because the equipment they just lay out there, but the jerseys, man, they did it in cycles, and I didn't know they were doing it in cycles, and I heard about it after the fact when somebody saw something that I would have really wanted, and they're like, hey man, did you see this there? And I was like, no. And they're like, oh, well, we think it was put out on the table during the second intermission. And I'm like, what? So I definitely don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course they're not having one. They're not doing a regular one like on a Saturday or whatever like that. So
no, they always do theirs during the last game of the year.
Oh, they do? I thought
Is
they
it
had
during the game or is it after the game?
It's before the game and then as the game goes on.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So if you're anybody that's not there,
Right.
you're not getting anything because you don't even know about it, and there's no number you can call to order stuff, Yeah, kind of sucks because I saw it afterwards on the forums. They're like, what? They had their equipment sale already. The season's just ending,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and why do it that way? Because you always end up with, I think you still end up with a bunch of crap after the guys clear out their lockers and that.
well, it's all old stuff too. Like, one of the things I picked up was Glendenning gloves from when they won the Calder.
Right.
And I got them photo matched and everything like that. Picked up a pair of Mantha gloves, which were from last year. I think the Calder was 2 years ago? No, 3 years ago. It would have been 3 years ago now. So that's how up to old that stuff was. And so even the jerseys were from some time ago, and they just kind of cycled them out. I don't know, it's one of those weird things where there's just not a rhyme or reason to it, and it's not consistent, so it's hard to get into, I would say.
How was their pricing on their jerseys?
The pricing was really weird, and I guess here's another thing that I can't say that I agree with. They started out saying two different prices, right? They would say if it wasn't a player that played in the NHL, it was $300, but if they did play in the NHL, it was $600.
Now, how do
That's
they qualify
a dumb
that? Is
shit
that
thing.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Is that like if they played one game, like that little cup of coffee, it's still $600?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fucking dumb.
Now,
Yes.
here's the crazier part, is all the NHL players were still sitting on the table for a while. So, after was it 20, 30 minutes, they're like, all right, anybody's $300. So some people cashed out with you know, more in it than they should have had, and so it was just inconsistent.
Yeah, I'd have been pissed if I'd have been in there in the first 10 minutes and dropped $600 because I liked the guy and he went up, and then 2 hours later, oh yeah, we changed our mind.
Right.
Well, the worst part is you could be standing there with the jerseys in your hand, looking at gear for the next half hour, and then the price changes and you didn't cash out.
Yeah, that's
sounds inconsistent. Just I think it goes right in that category of way to piss off the fans.
yeah. I've heard of like doing stuff like that, like changing the price later on, but changing it during the sale is that's bad. That's a great way to piss people off immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you're like near the end of the day and you're just trying to get shit out the door, and I've seen that the Blues have done that in the past and others, which that I have no issue with. But yeah, in the middle of it, really.
Yeah, that's man. I'd raise hell. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was not exactly ideal. I'm hoping maybe they streamline in the future, but it's and here's another crazy thing is it's cash only.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, that's
At the arena, it's cash only. They have the ability to take a credit card machine, and they don't take it.
The equipment sale is cash only. So people make fun of me because I roll up in there rolling some mad bank, but you know, that's the name of the game. Yeah, I like to walk away with goalie pads, and I use them. I just picked up the Jared Carreau. I actually got the pads blocker and 2 catchers, and honestly, they're the best pads I've ever used, so I'm pretty happy about
What
it.
brand?
But they're Vaughn V6.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. So I mean, I couldn't complain there.
Reasonably priced for the sale.
Yeah, $300 for the legs, and then $60 a glove.
Jesus,
that's great.
really good.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I like to go there a lot is because I get the goalie stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna go again next year, just because I don't really, you know, the players that I follow aren't there anymore. It sounds like they've cycled everything out, and I've got too much goalie shit.
yeah. I
Hey.
mean, do you really collect Grand Rapids jerseys?
I mean not heavily. I'm really been trying to focus lately.
Yeah.
But there's that. So that
Bring
happened.
some goalie gear next April to Chicago, Derek. We could have a conversation.
Hey, I already know. I'm trying to get more people to register for that, so we can figure out. I'm gonna add another questionnaire button on there to for the April show to see who's interested in a pickup game. That way we can actually get one going. That'd be sweet.
Hell yes.
You know, it's funny. The only thing, so I was thinking about this because I'm planning to go next April, and I was thinking about like the flight up there, and the only detriment to playing in a pickup game is then I have to bring my equipment, which is more space taken up by things I would otherwise fill with jerseys. So it's gonna be
Well,
interesting.
Bobby, I'm driving up 3 hours. I don't know what size skates in that you wear if you're very picky on your stuff.
True.
Worst case, bring your skates, and I can load my vehicle with spare gear if guys flying in need stuff. I mean, I've got a decent amount of stuff I don't mind loaning off.
Yeah, helmets and
Pants.
gloves aren't that big of a deal. I mean, the
Yeah.
bigger thing would be your skates and maybe like shins, pants you can find or go without.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much, as long as I got my skates, I don't really care where the equipment came from. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I can get you and some others sorted out as long as I know ahead of time.
God, that's awesome.
And I do have a few player things, so I can throw that in for you too.
Cool. This is gonna be.
Derek, I'm anti-Facebook, anti-social, so I know I mentioned it before about being goal, but you know I'll be there.
So yeah, so that was the sale. I believe that was in April, and then the Red Wings just had their sale last weekend. Was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. I don't know.
Last week was before.
Everything's just kind of mashed
It was.
together for me from this weekend. But yeah, so the Red Wing sale was recently, and you know, that I try to cover it pretty good. You know, every year I try to do some media, some write-ups, Twitter, and all that. And there's a decent amount of fallout from it this year, which is awesome. I fucking love drama. Right, so, alright, it was pretty cool. They switched it up. Usually they do, like, you know, season ticket holders get in an hour early, so the sale would be at 10, and then season ticket holders get in at 9. This year they decided that they were going to do wristbands, probably because of the Larkin stuff. So wristbands were just given to people at midnight who were in line. So you get the wristband at midnight, and then you can leave and you come back at 9 o'clock. You line back up again, you wait an hour, get into the sale at 10. They were expecting a lot of people, right? Come to find out, there weren't really a ton of people there. We're going to get Matt connected here as soon as he gets on, by the way. And so we're standing there in line, and we were in line for quite some time. So, you know, it's a bunch of us BSing around, trying to pass the time, do this, that, and the other. Well, we'll fast forward to when we get the wristbands. I think there were like maybe 30 people at midnight to get wristbands. And then even at 10 o'clock when the doors open, I don't think there were more than like 50 people.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a lot less than we saw. Now, if you want to input the drama, now, this is where me being in my current emotional state makes me really not give a shit about what I'm saying, because I'm just so tired of everybody's shit, right? So we're there, we're chilling. The first 5 of us, you know, we kind of know who each other are, and when I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, what's the over-under on the next person that shows up? What time are they gonna get here? So everybody kind of puts out when they think, and as we're trying to figure out who's got what time, these 2 girls walk up and kind of look at them, and they kind of look like they're not in the right place or anything. And then we're like, hey, what are you here for? And they're like, the equipment sale. And we're like, fuck, because nobody was guessing, like, oh, the over-under's right now. So we thought that was pretty funny. Hey, Matt, you on? Hey, you sound real quiet, man, so try and get that figured out. But, yeah, so we're there, and, God, we were there for, I didn't get there until, like, noon or something like that with, Steven. Steven was there, Justin was there, Matt and Matt's friend was there. And then these 2 girls walk up, so, you know, we're trying to get to know them, you know, figure out, you know, what their deal is, because we've never seen them before. We don't know who they are, and generally people that are there that early, you know who they are. Well, seems they wanted to be very secretive, or at least the one did. So there's 2 girls. The one wanted to be very secretive, didn't want to tell us, you know, too much. She just said, you know, she's here for her brother, and claimed that her brother didn't tell her what to get yet, which is cool. Whatever, you know, everybody in the front kind of knew what we were there for, and we figured we were going to get it. That's fine. So we just kind of BS'd with everybody, and, you know, we'd ask them questions just to get to know them, because generally that's what nice people do, is you ask questions about each other. And so throughout the thing, I'm taking pictures and videos and stuff, and kind of trying to get people who are interested in how the sales work or what's going on at the sale, you know, give them something to look at or something to read and whatever, you know. And she was kind of being all shy or whatever. I thought it was just playing around. That was fine. So a couple other guys show up, and then a few other guys show up. So not a lot of people there, right? Well, the other girl was really cool. She, like, Facebook friended us and was talking to us, which was cool. I mean, everybody was talking, having a good old time, right? Well, come to find out after the fact that the girl that was there for her brother told her brother that we were assholes and were harassing her.
What?
And her brother, who wanted to be anonymous, told his friend, which is a friend of mine, or at least a Facebook friend. I thought we were friends, but apparently when you can't come to me direct to tell me something, we're not, told that person. And then that person told another one of my friends, because that person didn't want to be in the middle and wanted to rename anonymous. So then that person told me how much of an asshole, or somebody thought that I was an asshole, or that our group was an asshole and was harassing someone, right? And we're sitting here, and we all just kind of join a group message, and we're just like talking about like, how could this be? How could somebody even interpret it as that or whatever? We thought everybody was cool. The one was Facebook friending us, and nobody expressed any sort of concerns. And I'm just here like, I'm like, fuck everybody, man. If somebody thinks I'm an asshole, like, fuck that shit. Like, I don't go out of my way to make people feel uncomfortable or bad, and if I do, I hope somebody tells me in the moment so it can be corrected, not after the fact and how much of an asshole I am. You know what I mean?
So what was this based on? Like, what did they have examples, or did they give any reason that they thought this? I mean, it's just...
Here's the funniest part, is apparently it was because I was taking pictures and videos, and she didn't want me to take pictures and videos of them, which, you know, is kind of cool but kind of not, because here's the funniest part, is she tells us she doesn't know anything about the hobby, whatever, blah, 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 which comes to find out that's a lie, because she's apparently seen who I am because she referenced a picture on my Facebook profile that I haven't had as my profile picture in like 3 months. Right? So you clearly know who I am. You know I run the GameWorn.us website. You know I do articles every year because she referenced the Glendenning article from last year. You know I do GameWorn radio show because you referenced how ridiculous we were because we actually do a GameWorn radio show. So she knew an awful lot about us. She did her homework, right? But then it's a problem when I actually want to take pictures and videos and interview people in line, including her because she was there.
Well, nobody has to consent to an interview. I mean, she could just simply say, no, thank you.
That's correct.
And you move on.
That's correct. And also, you don't have really a stance to privacy in a public place.
Well, she missed the point, because those of us who weren't there, watching the video was like making you feel like you were there, you know?
That is the point, yes.
You know, you were there.
Between the tweets and everything was fantastic.
I was messaging Stefan, I was messaging you, I was watching the video, you know, I couldn't be there. So here I'm messaging people to get the feel of what's going on. And I saw the girl, she turned away shy. Okay, fine, you don't want to be on the camera, you're a little shy. That's great, whatever. But by no means did I think that you were being a jerk. He was like, you're standing in line, it's like...
We're trying to pass the time, everybody's having a good time, we're all trying to be friendly. In fact, the one girl, like I said, friended us. So clearly we were doing something right. Because she friended us.
How long were you in line for?
12 hours.
Yeah, you got there at noon and didn't pass the wristbands out till midnight. So, you know, you got to do something to pass the time. You can't just sit there.
So, I mean, I'm already taken aback from somebody telling me that I'm an asshole. When I totally don't feel like I am. In fact, I thought everybody was having a good time given the circumstances. And I might have joked around a little bit. Like, she said she drove 9 hours from Montreal. And I was like, you know, you're not telling us what you want, which is cool and all. But that would really suck if you don't get what you want driving 9 hours. You know what I mean? And I can't even help you get what you want if it's not something that I want, but somebody else wants. We can't help you out with that if we don't know what you want. So, I mean, you're kind of on your own at that regard.
I totally get the idea of being a little bit protective. I've been in a scenario at equipment sale where I shared what I was looking for and what I wanted, and the person in front of me was like, oh no, I want that, and then snatched it all up, and I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it may have gone otherwise, but I definitely understand the guarding what it is you're going after, but at the same time, you can still be cordial. I mean, you got to sit in line with these people regardless. I don't really get it.
Well, and that's the thing, is in the moment, everybody was cordial. Everybody was having a good time. So where this accusation is coming from that we're such bad people, it just blows my mind. And one of the things that they said was, we stalked her on Facebook. Well, hold on. Her friend friended us. And then she told us that she didn't have a Facebook. And then her friend mentioned something about having to remove the tags in her profile so we don't find the girl's Facebook profile. Because she deactivated it. She went as far to deactivate it. Her Facebook for the day. Because apparently we're like some big risk or something. Like, come on.
That just shows the drama of the hobby, how people go to some extent on, you know, just on how people are sensitive. I mean, I've been at sales, like, where, you've brought it there for, and people, like, you don't know how to spite if they want it or not, but some will just grab it and then try to charge you double, and some people will just try to cause drama just to have drama, or some people will have somebody go and loot, and, I've been at sales or auctions where they'll have a relative or a younger child place the bid so they get the vote to get something cheaper. I mean, there's all kinds of drama in this, unfortunately, and people to the extreme one way or another.
The crazy thing to me is, though, like, don't talk shit about me and say that I'm something that I'm not, or like I purposely did something or whatever, or I made you feel uncomfortable when you didn't express to us that you were uncomfortable to let us know that maybe we could back off or something. Like, if you wanted to be off in your own little world, by all means, let us know. Like, I don't want to stand near you guys. Okay, well, let's just mark your seat and then you go fuck off somewhere. And we'll be fine with that. But, if you want to sit here and bullshit with us, like, come on. Come on. And the worst part is, up in the front, we're all talking like, dude, we ain't even going after the Larkins. Like, they're going to be priced so high, none of us can afford it, blah, blah, blah. And what they do, they storm in and they snatch all the Larkins as if we were going to go after them because we only been telling them for 12 fucking hours. Not interested.
Yeah. Well, they didn't trust you. Clearly they didn't trust you because they weren't going to tell you what they wanted and they didn't believe what it was that you had to say about it.
Well, the funny thing is they already knew what I wanted. And then we had no problem sharing with them what everybody else was interested in because we were in front of them. We're going to get it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we want. Now, if you don't want to share, that's cool, because you might think that we'll put what you want on our list. But also, I think we're pretty cool guys. And if it's something that, is kind of up in the air, we might be like, oh yeah, you came 9 hours, feel a little bit bad if you don't walk away with exactly what you want, so we'll figure out something to make you guys happy. But instead, nope, let's just talk shit when this whole thing's done and have my brother contact his friend who will contact another friend to contact you about how big of an asshole you are. Like, huh?
Yeah.
But that's the drama. But let's talk about the sale, right? So, I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of what the sale normally looks like. So they have the 2 racks of jerseys for the regular season and playoffs, because they usually don't sell the playoffs. There might be 1 or 2 in there because they recycle them for the next year.
Oh, okay.
So generally you get 1 set a year. And then they have the previous year racks, which is pretty cool. They're all at a discount. And then this year they had a specialty rack that had leftover like Stadium Series packages or pieces. They had like a Mike Green Stadium Series set. They had, Yurko Stadium Series set. Howard practice jersey from the Stadium Series. So they had some pretty cool stuff on there. They had a lot of gloves, some helmets, tons of skates, more skates than I've ever seen before. And then they had a bin of pants and bags. Bags was the thing this year. They didn't sell heavily, but we don't see bags every year. So that was pretty cool, seeing some bags, and a couple of people got bags of the players that they want. Now, they were expensive, but we haven't seen them, and some of the guys were saying we haven't seen them in like 10 years. So they don't cycle them out that often, so they're kind of rare. So there are a couple like Pavel Datsyuk bags. I got my Glendening bag, saw a Larkin bag in there. Now, one of the things that we weren't expecting was there's going to be, we read the email as no Larkin gear, but it was really no Larkin sticks, helmets, or gloves. So there were pants and there were skates. So somebody ended up getting the Larkin pants, which is fine. Which brings me to my next piece of drama, Reddit. You guys look at Reddit at all?
Occasionally.
Rarely.
So there's a subreddit for the Detroit Red Wings, right? And in there somebody started a thread, and they were talking about how disappointed they were in the Red Wings sale this year. And the reason why is because the guys at the front were buying everything to resell for the website that they run. That was the big gist.
Oh, were they talking about you?
Yeah, so apparently this person lined up in line and saw that there were a bunch of us up in the front, and then he looked on Twitter or something and saw that we were live tweeting it or whatever, which apparently is the most ridiculous thing. But I had fun doing it. It definitely passed the time. And so we were ridiculous for that, but then they saw that we're associated with GameWorn.us, right? And then they see that, oh, GameWorn.us has a store. Well, the store's consignments, so they didn't really pay close enough attention to check out that it's, old shit that people kind of want to get rid of because they're cycling out their collection or whatever, and they consign it as a service. GameWorn.us doesn't own that shit. But they didn't look that far in. They're just like, oh, well, these people were there to buy everything that they could, and they're just going to sell it to try and make a profit, which none of the jerseys we bought were sold to make a profit. Ever. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that, right? So we got on Reddit to defend ourselves and whatnot, and come to find out that the prices of the jerseys that we were telling him the prices were when we bought them, he was like, oh, I wouldn't have bought them at that anyway. It's kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. But then you see him complain about stuff that would immediately show up on eBay. Guess what went up on eBay immediately? Larkin pants.
Yeah, figures.
And somebody in there was complaining about how, whoever would buy stuff and throw it up on there. Well, we think one of the guys that was on that Reddit complaining was one of the guys that did that. But, we can't confirm it, but that's what we think. Oh, and another fun fact was somebody saw a helmet go up on eBay. Athens CU helmet, or number 72. But it's the wrong model for Athens CU, but it is the number 72. So we took a look at pictures, and it was a Cole, because we were quite certain there was not going to be an Athens CU helmet. So when we discovered on eBay, oh, somebody thinks they got an Athens CU, that can't be right. So we looked, and it's Eric Cole from last year. So one of the guys contacted him, and the dude was freaking out on him, telling him how they're going to call Christie and this, that, and the other. Well, I think our guy contacted Christie and was like, hey, this dude's claiming he talked to you or whatever, and, it legitimately is the wrong helmet, so maybe you can talk to him and, work it out between him, because it isn't what he thinks it is. So that's fun. So lots of drama regarding the sale. It was a good time.
So Derek, speaking of sales, I mean, you guys, you post to GameWorn.us pretty regularly, whether it's AHL like Syracuse or NHL with Detroit. Are there any others coming up in the next, few weeks that are on the horizon that people are looking forward to?
Well, the St. Louis one should be coming up soon. I think there was...
My guess for that one, will be next Saturday. And I looked at last year's. They announced it the Wednesday before, so it was only a few days. And looking at the timing compared to last year, it seems that could be the right date. I've not been able to confirm it with anybody, but that's my thought. And I don't have a problem, because I'll definitely be going down there. I don't have a problem if you want me to live tweet that one, Derek.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Maybe take some pictures and video and piss some people off. That'd be dope.
Definitely.
The Sharks and Penguins should have a while. When they're done playing, the Sharks always have a good one.
Oh yeah, the Shark sale is one of the best year round. Paul goes to that. He gets in early to take all the pictures before it gets decimated, and it's one of the best sales of the year. It really is. Every
year they show those photos. I guess Paul takes them, and it just looks so well organized and so well put together, and such a deep variety of things. I've always wanted to go to that one. I don't even care about the Sharks. That just looks so good.
Yeah, I'd like to go just to see it. The pictures look amazing.
Didn't the Oilers just have theirs? I think they had their final one because they're moving into the new arena, so they had some big sale.
And the Flames did too. What, last weekend or weekend before?
Weekend before, the Flames had theirs.
First weekend of June, I believe.
Yeah, was it the same day as the Red Wings?
I'm not sure.
Or was the weekend before on Memorial Day weekend? It was about that time frame, though.
Right. I think it was Memorial Day weekend. That sounds about right.
theirs looks very well organized from what I could see and from what I heard too.
Yeah, and the lady that runs their jersey program is like, she's spot on. You know,
Yeah, I like that.
she knows it. She's very nice too. If you call her, she's very polite. You know, no games, no. You know, you can tell she's probably talking with a smile too.
Yeah, she. You
Canucks
never-
do their show here.
Yeah,
Let me see. I don't know. The lower level, I think the Nailers are getting ready to do theirs because now their season's over with. The
what about
Monsters,
Oh, go ahead.
The Monsters will have theirs soon, won't they, Tom?
No, they've never had one ever.
Really?
Yes.
So
That's
now,
what they
now that was because of Colorado.
Oh, right.
Because what I've heard in the past, what they used to do is Colorado would take everything back to Colorado. They would keep everything. They would tell them, don't sell it. Well, when they got affiliated with Columbus this year, throughout the year, they would do one of Derek's favorite things, where they would either have a raffle for the jersey,
I love
or
it.
they would actually have silent auctions for players from the past. So there was, a couple players that they probably aren't going to make it into the NHL, but they had a lot of good wear on some of those jerseys that were worn like maybe 5 games, 6 games at best, because the Monsters had like 3 or 4 different jerseys they would wear. It'd either be the white one, the black one, or that blue Cleveland one that they came out with a couple seasons ago. Now this year, with them being affiliated with the Blue Jackets, I don't know what they're going to do, because I've always heard Springfield would always do an equipment sale. So a lot of it depends on the affiliate team from what I hear. And plus, a lot of jerseys from this playoffs are now on eBay from the AHL, and those are going real insane. From
Just
just
game
game 2. Yeah.
just game 2.
Yo, so one of the interesting things to keep in mind when it comes to the sales rate is some of the teams don't actually sell their jerseys through the team; they sell it elsewhere. So then the equipment sale is exactly what it is equipment sale. They don't actually have jerseys there. You know,
Do any AHL teams anymore have migrant contracts?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think. I think the only lower level team that has one is Orlando.
Yeah.
It used to be they had contracts with the NHL, the AHL, and the ECHL, and it was nuts. I mean, everything was there.
I think because Barry now, if you know, does a lot of the NBA teams now.
Right.
Does a lot in the NFL. So I think he's now moved. Like the minor league teams might not bring him as much money as he wants, or then might not move enough jerseys that he wants to have moved.
Yeah.
And so might as well go to that pro level. Bigger names, bigger league, bigger move, dollar signs.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I see the prices on minor league jerseys, and there's some players that I wouldn't mind having, and they pop up from time to time. But the struggle is always for me as a collector anyway, is I'm never gonna pay NHL kind of money for an AHL or an ECHL jersey. It's just never gonna happen.
Like the Bjork stand right now for the game 2, the one GameWorn Calder Cup. It's up to I want to say it's $2,200 or $2,400 for one game. I mean, granted, yeah, he's probably going to do pretty good, but that's a probably that you don't know, and that's just way too much for a one game.
You could, for $2,200, you could get a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see.
It's the average fan dropping that kind of money though too. It's not. Those are more fan driven than they are collector driven.
Well, and especially when the team does better. When a team does better, prices go up.
Yeah, I can guarantee you a Monsters jersey normally wouldn't go for that price. I could put money on that myself.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I can't imagine what the Shark stuff is going to be. I'd be really impressed if they keep their prices, pretty consistent with previous years. But with them going to their first Stanley Cup Finals, it's not looking good.
It might be a little elevated.
You know, I can see them jacking shit up for the Stanley Cup Finals jerseys for the, one set that they'd probably release or whatever. Because it doesn't look like they're going to take it, in my opinion. But
stranger things have happened.
That's true. But, it's nice to see things stay consistent in the level that you expect regardless. Not cater to that fan that's going to buy it one-off or whatever. Now, Doc, you're anticipating the Blue sale coming up, and they sell their jerseys through Fanatic, so it's just going to be an equipment sale, yeah?
Yeah, and I'm hoping they'll have some practice jerseys. They didn't have any last year. It was sticks, skates, gloves, helmets, some of their a few elbow pads, shoulder pads. They did have a lot of socks, and they also had both their laundry bags and their like toiletry, the Warrior toiletry bags they had.
What about the sweatshirts that the players wear? Do they have those too?
I think they may have had those in the store themselves because everything else was in the concourse. But those, I think they put some out. And honestly, they're $100 a piece. To me, they're overpriced. Wow.
That's funny. Flim sell theirs for like 10.
But
or for like 50 or Canadian money. So
yeah,
like
so
35.
But and we'll see how they do it this year because last year it was season ticket holders first, and if you were a season ticket holder, which I got a pass from another season ticket holder, you could bring one guest in. So that kind of changed things up a little bit. They started at 11 o'clock. I think I was there by 9, 8:30 or 9, somewhere right in there. And I mean, stuff went quick. The Blues tweeted out after the first hour that the only things that were left, I think, were sticks and skates. Everything else was gone. And I mean, helmets and gloves were gone in the first 15 minutes. But we'll see if they do that same approach because the year before that, of course, too, it was when they were changing their striping on their pants and all that stuff. They did it on the floor of Scott Trade where everybody lined up and they let 5 or 10 people in at a time every, say, 5 minutes. And it was much more open, but they had practice jerseys going back years, the old Yofa style, heavy material ones.
Yeah, Yofa, man.
So who knows? And a lot of regular fans were pissed because of how last year's was. So who knows what the Blues are going to do this year? They seem to change it every time.
You think they'd ever put a limit on like what you could purchase there or not?
They may, because there was tons of bitching with people buying 8, 10, 12 helmets.
Yeah, that's obviously not.
And that's
I'm buying that for my hockey team.
Yeah,
that's the most sought after of anything that from the Blue sale. I mean, yeah, people
helmets
were looking for
popular.
particular players' gloves, but you can always find players' gloves because they seem to go through quite a few pairs. I mean,
yeah,
you can get Tarasenko's and things like that. People are going to dive for that kind of stuff. But helmets, there's usually, if there may be 4 max.
Oof.
Sometimes the guys don't seem to go through that.
Wow.
Well, here's my thing on somebody grabbing a bunch of shit, right? If you're there and you have to wait a long period of time, then you should be able to get the shit that you want. Other people should have just been there before you. The person that wants it the most gets there early and waits their ass off. Matt was the first one there, and there was one specific thing that he wanted the most, and he made sure he got it. Now, he was there by himself for a very long period of time. Like, I think it was 18 unnecessary hours. But it's dedication.
Jeez.
I mean, that's how bad he wanted something.
I get that to an extent, but you know what's crappy about that is I haven't seen an equipment sale yet where you actually know for certainty what's going to be there. And so it's happened to me where I've waited in line hours and hours and hours and hours, and like you said, probably some hours that weren't necessary. And then you get in there and they don't even have what it is you thought they were going to have. That's rough.
That's kind of the nice thing with the Red Wings, though, is we do have a contact within Hockeytown Authentics that will kind of give us a little bit of information. So if there's that one piece of thing that you really want, you can ask her, and she'll be like, yeah, it's here, or no, it's not. So then you're not wasting your time.
Right.
See, that's what makes the Flames kind of actually really good. They'll say, this is what we're going to have. This is going to be the prices, and this is how much of the item we're going to have. And they'll say, we'll have this many of this, we'll have this player's stick, and this is the cost. They don't tell you they give a rough estimate of how many of that stick is going to be there. Same thing for the pants, for the helmets, for the gloves, for everything. They itemize everything because I think they take a really good inventory of their stuff. And then whatever doesn't sell, they keep those same prices and post them online and say, here you go, you can buy it from us for the same price that you couldn't get it from the equipment sale.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. In years past, we've actually gotten a jersey list from there, but this year we didn't get one, so it was kind of like up in the air, which is why everybody's like, I don't know about Larkin. I don't think I'm going to get it. It's going to be like crazy expensive. They end up being like $3,000 for a playoff jersey or $8,000 for a regular season. And he was the only player to switch halfway through the season, so he had 2 set 1 jerseys of each color. So overall, there were a total of 5 Larkin jerseys there. Now, we also know that the White Hockey Hall of Fame patch jersey was not there because they made one for him to wear specifically for one game, where everybody else's was patched and then removed, so it was continued use. Oh, which leads me to another great segue. So, do you guys remember when I had that hard time when I got Glenn Dennings and, the Lidstrom patch was on the playoff jersey when it should have been on the set 1 jersey?
Yeah, you debated.
Vaguely, yeah.
So, this year, they put, they wear the patch on the jersey, and then they take it off, and then they fix it right back to the jersey for the sale. They put it on the wrong side.
Oh, God.
So every single jersey is put on the wrong side. And I would have never noticed.
At least they're consistent.
I would have never noticed if I wouldn't have looked at pictures. And honestly, I haven't had time to look at pictures because between the basement thing and my friend's murder, I just,
oh shit,
haven't had time. But I did look at my Glendenning jersey, the white one, right? And I can see there's like a dark circle outline, like shadow, where I think they might have used glue adhesive when they originally put it on. And it never got washed out of the jersey well enough, so you can still see the faintness there, and it's the exact same size, so I know exactly where it used to be to where it is now.
How do they not know better then? That's crazy.
I don't know.
Oh God, did you guys see, so not to change the subject, but the Penguins won.
Yeah, I just saw that.
And there is Pascal Dupuis is dressed like in full uniform on the ice.
That's what they did.
All the healthy scratches are out there. The Dailies out there. All the guys that they called up from Wilkes-Barre. They all put a jersey on to go out there and do the cup and everything.
What do the stands look like right now?
They're standing there stunned, going, "Oh, I guess our jerseys are cheaper at the equipment sale."
Now, are the stands still full?
That too, last night, a lot of the healthy scratches and the ones that were injured actually got into the uniform, which is funny because they had a couple guys with shoulder injuries.
Yeah.
That were actually had to hoist the cup up for the player's ramage, to have Anderson help him hold the cup up because his shoulder was so sore he couldn't do it one-handed.
Yeah.
The Black Aces dress. So
is the stand still full? Like, did they all stay to watch the presentation?
Yeah. They're shaking hands now, but they're full.
They're full. I was anticipating like a half walkout.
Gosh.
Man, that sucks though. Think about it. Like, it's your team's first year in the Stanley Cup Finals, right? And you lose. Like, you have to suffer through a Stanley Cup presentation in your domain, not for your team.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So is it's got to be Murray for the Conn Smythe, right?
It better be.
Murray or Kessel is my guess.
Maybe Kessel. God, Kessel looks fat. Even now, he looks fat.
There's hope for me yet.
Dude, fucker, I took a video on my Facebook talking about some politics shit, right? And somebody commented on it saying I look like Phil Kessel. I was like, what the fuck?
Nah, you look like Phil Kessel if Phil Kessel somehow... I was going to say went to the gym. I mean, he spends more time in the gym than any of us, but good God.
He looks like Rec League.
He does. He looks like...
He's balding. He's got the piss poor beard, and he's got a gut like me, so...
Totally want one of his jerseys now.
Kessel?
Yeah.
There's a Toronto Maple Leaf out there for like $800.
I would give him like 150.
Is that U.S. or Canadian?
Whatever, but the Penguins aren't cheap, man.
Damn it, where's Marco?
No. I know.
You know, we're still doing the tag Marco whenever somebody says
Well,
Grail.
the crowd shot. It's still full.
Oh,
Yeah. They're waiting. Now they're cheering off the Sharks. They're cheering the team off.
Oh, they're cheering the Sharks off.
Yeah.
No cup come out yet.
No, not
Hey,
yet.
we cheered the Bears. So when they left the ice.
Yeah, it's a fun
I'm
time.
more happy Pierre Crosby on this interview.
Ugh. Is he gonna stroke him?
No, he probably
He's got the
jizzed
towel,
himself.
so he's all set.
Either one of the people on the screen right now.
Damn.
Ugh. So, Derek, coming back to the Detroit sale, how much time did you spend in line before the doors open in total?
I spent 13, so 12 hours from noon to midnight to get the wristband, and an hour from 9 to 10 for the doors to open.
Now, let me ask you, is there a reason why they picked that time, made you guys stand in line that long, and then said, okay, here's wristbands, you guys go sleep, we'll see you in the morning?
I think they were anticipating like 500 people.
Okay.
And
Did you know that they're going to hand out wristbands?
yeah, we season ticket holders were sent an email, or at least most season ticket holders were sent an email. I'm not sure because I heard that some people didn't get it, so I'm not sure the rhyme or reason. But a bulk of people were notified of it. And then the Red Wings did send out a general email blast regarding the 10 o'clock public time for the sale, which if you didn't have a wristband at midnight, you show up at 10, which is when the doors open, which, you know, everybody's already in line anyway. But, I mean, there weren't, like, people were showing up at, like, 9:30 and still getting one of the 100 wristbands that they had left. I don't think they even handed out all the wristbands. It was crazy. It was the lowest turnout I've ever seen for equipment sale for the Red Wings. It was really interesting.
I wonder if it's because over the year people figured that, you know, the prices are, you know, up there. They just figured, hey, why go, you know?
You know, and it's really funny. That's what we told the people that were accusing us of buying to resell, is like, if you buy a Red Wings jersey from the team at the sale, you are paying more than you can get for it on secondhand. It might as well be an auction. Like, if you're doing it as a business, you're already losing money. You just bought a Red Wing jersey, you're already losing money.
Right.
Because this shit's expensive if you're a Red Wing fan, man. It's top dollar, like, milk out of everyone that you can. I mean, guess how much Datsuk was?
Wasn't he like
12
12,000?
grand.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. And
I don't think there's a jersey I want that bad.
I mean, I could find a jersey that I want that bad, but damn.
God. I don't know. I love jerseys, but I also would love 12 grand. Like, I don't think there's like, thinking back to any jersey I could possibly have, there isn't one that I'd want to spend 12 grand for.
I don't know. I keep teeter-tottering on, like, what could I spend my money on, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, if I had an F ton of money, right, maybe 12 grand would be a drop in the bucket, and I can move it to get a cool jersey or something. But, dude, on what I'm living on, 12 grand would, like, my fucking family's more important than that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're only now bringing the cup out of, like, the basement. This is crazy.
Hell yeah, man. You gotta make them suffer.
Yes.
So for anybody listening, Ross Tyndale is looking for Olli Jokinen jerseys. He's looking to buy, it looks like. So tell him GameWorn.us sent you if you have one and you're looking to sell it. Ross Tyndale. You can message us and we'll forward his information. If you got Olli Jokinen. Yeah.
Is this like a sponsored search?
I don't know. I think maybe if we can get somebody to make a deal with him, he'll support the site, which would be dope. You know, we take donations and shit to run it because we don't fucking make money right now.
Right.
Speaking of, anybody want to buy radio show advertisements? Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but I think you know what I mean. Of course, I'll take a Red Wing championship over all that any day, anyway.
Yeah, there's always next year.
You should get, you know what would be cool if, I don't know what the listenership is or if it's, you know, anything to sneeze at, but if there's something to it, you could get teams with like upcoming equipment sales to sponsor, like advertise the sale coming up.
You know, that would be dope as fuck if they cared or understood marketing, but many of them don't give a shit. They're like, oh, we'll send out a Facebook blast and that'll be that, thinking that, you know, people that would be interested are all following them, when that's not the case at all. They don't understand like target marketing. It's hard to see. I went to college for this shit, which is terrible, right? Marketing and sales and all that shit, business in general. It's hard to educate people that think they know but don't.
Right.
It's amazing in this day and age where they think like social media, you just put it out there and everybody fucking knows. No, no, they don't. You have to grind on social media to get people to follow your shit, or you find somebody who already has the audience that you're looking for.
Yeah, it seems like these teams target the local fans instead of the general collecting world.
Yeah.
But then, you know, on the second token, they target the local fans, and then some of them get bent out of shape when the local fans don't want to pay top dollar for something that sits in their inventory or whatever the case is. It's like, you know, if your target market makes an average of the, you know, minimum wage, you're not going to get $12 grand for a star player.
Yeah, the Canadians listed their jerseys, and the people on the pages were just like, let them sit there and rot. They were so pissed at the prices they put.
Well, they've been going up year over year.
They have.
You know.
Yeah. It's like Blackhawk jerseys.
Blackhawk jerseys, yeah. Oh man. Cool. Well, we're down to 2 minutes, so maybe I'll spend like 30 seconds telling you about my basement rink. I have the I have the length done. I've been working on the width, but with this weekend shenanigans with my friend, I didn't get a chance to work on it. But I should have the width done soon, so that'll be the length and the width. I can put up the boards and then get my final pieces ordered, and then I just got to protect the walls, and bam, done.
Derek, what's the life like on that floor if you're skating on it? Like, I assume eventually you have to resurface it or replace it?
I have heard that it should last me between 15 and 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And isn't it the kind that you put like an oil on it?
Yeah, there's like a spray that you just lightly put on it, and it'll dry, but it'll lubricate the surface. And you only have to do that like once every couple weeks.
That is cool.
Yeah, once I get that done, I'll have to send you some videos and shit and pictures to let you take a look at it, and maybe my surface will get pissed off and tell me I'm harassing it. Damn, I went there. Alright guys, well, that's about the time that we have. Appreciate you guys getting on and chatting some bullshit with us. Any final thoughts? Seeing none.
The NHL jerseys coming up.
Yeah. Alright, man, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Take care, man.